Hello everyone, I am done with Toontober for right now. Next post will be 10 days from now. Maybe the 24th will be the next, day that I'm drawing. But I'm taking a break from Toontober, kind of just because I don't really care much for the current prompts. But yeah, taking a break. 25th will be the next thing. On to today's animation. The first 2D animation that I have posted, and it's the Loch Ness Monster. I do really like Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster, and I wanted to challenge myself to animate that monster and see could I animate it better than the movie just because of using modern tools. And I'm gonna go with, because I had to draw it and interpret what would it look like in these poses, that it wasn't 100% accurate, and then it couldn't be a full test to that. So I'm thinking maybe down the line later what I'll do is literally just trace over parts from that movie and see because it's a CG monster in a 2D movie. I'm wondering would it look better to make it all 2D with modern software, and it'd be less about my abilities as an artist, but more just seeing what would it look like if it was all 2D and modern. That's just a question I have that I want to know the answer to. I might be the only person who cares. I don't care. I still might do this just down the line. So, anyways, for this, I was also thinking I want this to look, I just think of satisfying because of those satisfying renders. And was thinking about that, and it's okay, I wanted, you to see the black background with the red eyes of the monster as the nose exhales. I knew I wanted to go from nose exhaling to then the stormy weather where we see the monster turn around. And then a very late thought I had was, I should have, as the monster walks away, for it to get dark, because then the video would loop. That was such a last minute thing, but ended up working. Also, one thing I find a little bit funny, but it works for the style. In Procreate, there's a brush called Stubble. That is the rain. The rain is facial hair that just happens to be blue. A very light blue, but yeah, it's just because I needed a brush that was a bunch of tiny straight lines, and that's as close as I could get. I think maybe I can make a duplicate of it and modify the properties to be more straight and not have that slight curve. But that's why it has that. But also it kind of just looks like cartoony rain, and so it kind of works perfectly. But I still just thought that was a funny detail worth mentioning. Oh, and like the original, when it's raining, I made it so that when the lightning strikes, everything other than the monster gets really bright. So just max out the brightness. I feel like that's about it. I will say, you will see I green screen, the monster. And that didn't work whatsoever, because you could, when I, got rid of the color green, you could see tiny gaps, and it just looked awful. So I ended up having to go back and then just basically copied that animation over onto the weather, but then I had to make the weather animation last for the exact amount of frames as the Loch Ness Monster animation. And then that became what I ended up doing. Also, I find this to be very worth noting for anyone who uses Procreate. You cannot export your animations to Discord. That's what I do, because I export my drawings all the time to Discord and have no issues. But as soon as you are exporting an animation, Discord will automatically compress that file, and so it'll look rough. I had to end up emailing myself the animation for it to actually look good. So I wanted that to be there as a disclaimer. And then sound design, I did like the breathing for the exhale and toned down the volume a little bit. That way I didn't, like blast people if they have headphones on or whatever. And then just like the rain and the monster sound, I grabbed that from the YouTube audio library and I just found like the exact right moments and made it the exact right timing that I needed. But anyways, yeah, that's it for this breakdown. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for YouTube Shorts, TikTok. It's like all like over 100 views, and I'm surprised that I was able to reach those numbers. So thank you. 25th, that'll be next drawing you get. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.